Hello and welcome to Rathods IS. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 2nd March 2024. So we are going to take PDF of Hindu and we are going to see important articles from our examination point of view. And we are going to see in how many dimensions you can think about that topic. And even one more thing we are going to say is, we are going to interconnect a single subject with the different subjects. So this multi-dimension approach is very important to write a good essay and as well as to write a very good mains answer and to gain good marks in your mains. And if you want to clear your UPSC, mains is the ball game. Yes, mains is the ball game. So if you want to clear that, yes, you have to focus on this mains answer writing practice, and you have to write answer in as many dimensions as possible. So I am trying to incorporate the things which are very much necessary from your mains answer writing point of view, and you are also going to discuss prelims related things as well. So this analysis is both integrated with your prelims and mains preparation. And if you are watching this Rathods IS news analysis, so please do watch consistently. So how much consistently I am making these videos, so in that way, so you have to watch this newspaper analysis and you have to gain knowledge. Clear? So without wasting any time, let us see the front page. So I am taking here Delhi edition, so whichever edition you are having, like Hyderabad edition or Chennai edition, okay, Bangalore edition, like that. So whichever edition you have, you can take. So here I am taking Delhi edition. So there will be no problem with the edition. And the first important article is GST collections up 12.54% in February. So in February month, the GST collections had been increased. So the key word here is GST, and based on this GST, already UPSC asked questions number of times. And even if you are preparing for any other competitive examinations, yes, like SSC, railways, banks, and even in your state public service examination also, so this topic is at most important, because now and then you can see this topic always in newspaper, that is GST collections every month. So now let us see the dimensions, like what you have to think from that article point of view. So this article is talking about GST, that is goods and service tax. So if you are talking about the tax, you have to see like why government is imposing tax. So you have to see why government is imposing tax. And you have to see like only on individuals or any other corporations, companies, government is imposing tax. Okay, so you have to see like areas where government is imposing tax. And one more important dimension here is you have to see what are the different types of tax. So we have direct tax and indirect tax. And even you have to see what are the examples of direct tax and examples of indirect tax. So regarding this direct tax, so there is one news article, so that is about corporate tax, regarding our finance minister. She gave answers to the questions of students regarding this direct tax, that is corporate tax collection. So you are also going to see that article. And this indirect tax is regressive tax. So this tax is affecting the poor the most, because direct tax is imposed on the people or organization based on their income. But despite of your income, you have to pay the tax to government, that is called as indirect tax, and it is regressive tax. It is affecting the poor the more. And one such an example of this indirect tax is GST. Okay, so here our present government came up with this GST in 2017. So through this GST Act, Okay, so here you have to know like other dimensions. What is this goods and service tax? What are the advantages and what are the disadvantages? So from this area you can expect both prelims and as well as mains question. So these are the some important dimensions that you have to think from this article point of view. So here this article is important from your GS paper 3 under economy. So from economy point of view, this article is important from both your prelims and as well as from mains. Yes, I hope it is clear. So if you are getting ideas like how to read newspaper, please do hit the like button. And along with the like button, so I am asking you to give the rating and review in the Google. So I will be giving you the link of rating and review in the Google. So please do give your genuine review and rating. Okay, so please don't forget that. So it will be not taking more than 1 minute of time. So hitting a like button takes not more than 2 seconds, and giving rating and review, it will be not taking like more than 1 minute. So please do that, so that will be supporting us. Because as you know that we started offline, so from 2 days onwards I am coming to the office, and your rating and reviews is very helpful because it will be supporting us. Okay, so yes, I am providing you the news analysis every day. So I am asking this favor from you, like please do review and rate our Rathods IAS Academy, so that it will be supporting us, it will be encouraging us. Okay, so please provide your support and say that you are with me. Okay, so please do rate and review. Don't forget, I will be giving you the link in description. So these are the some important dimensions that you have to think from this article point of view. So now let us see the notes part. So if you want to get these notes, you can join the Telegram channel. Link is given in description box. Okay, don't forget to join the Telegram channel as well. Yeah, so now let us see this article. So as I said, this article is important from your economy, which comes under GS paper 3 point of view, right? So why it is in news? So let us see why it is in news. So that is nothing but our context. So India's gross revenues from goods and service tax grew, that means increased, at a 3-month high, which is at a pace of 12.54% in February, to cross rupees 1.68 lakh crore, marking the 4th highest monthly collections from the tax. So in the month of February, this article says that yes, our government collected more GST of rupees 1.68 lakh crore rupees. So this is highest. Okay, so now let us see some details which are given here. Like here, February's GST revenue growth reflected the 3rd highest uptick in 2023 to 2024 year. So it is also getting, so we collected like good amount of GST in the month of February. And now let us see what is this GST and some basic facts, because if you are a beginner you might not be knowing about this, but if you are already prepared for UPSC, or if you had already your coaching, then you might be knowing. So here for beginners, let us see what is this GST, and even if you are not a beginner, it will be useful for your revision purpose, because revision is key. So without revision you can forget everything. So it is according to human psychology. Okay, so please do revision. So GST is a value. So what is this GST? That is goods and service tax. It is a value added tax system, so which is levied on the supply of goods and services in India. And I can say this GST, it is a destination based tax. So it is collected at the destination. And it is a comprehensive indirect tax. This was introduced in India on 1st July 2017, and we made constitutional amendment, that is 101 Constitutional Amendment Act, and we came up with this one nation one tax, that is GST. So if you are talking about the tax slabs in this GST, so we have different slabs like 0%, 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. So recently online gaming and recently online gaming and gambling was in news regarding this tax slab. So because of this, there is a chance of getting question regarding this GST. And if you're talking about what are the benefits of GST, so first one is, yes, it is a simplified tax regime. So GST replaced a multiple, or we can say like multitude of indirect taxes. So it is making compliance easier and reducing the paperwork for business. And next one is to also increase the transparency. So online GST portal simplifies tax administration and even it promotes transparency in the system. So it is increasing the transparency in the system. And next one is to also reduce the tax burden so that the prices will be less to the consumers, because we are eliminating the cascading effect of taxes. And next one is it also boosts the economic growth because we are removing these tax barriers and we are improving efficiency, so that here we are expecting that this GST is going to contribute to higher economic growth, and even that will be helpful in increased job creation, because we are facing this problem called as unemployment. And what are the major challenges in this GST? So first one is there is increased complexity and compliance burden. So GST in India has a complex structure. We are having a multiple tax slabs that is leading to increased compliance requirements. And even because of this, the GST is also one of the important challenge for the businesses. And if you want to join any course, they are asking you to pay extra GST, so that the cost of the courses of any online institutes or offline institutes is increasing, right? So because of this, it is now burden on the students and as well as for the business. And this complexity poses a challenge for the businesses, especially for smaller enterprises, and in undertaking and adhering to the diverse regulations. And next important one is technology and infrastructure readiness. So the successful implementation of GST relies heavily on robust technological infrastructure, and especially issues like lack of technological readiness among the business, okay, and even so there is some disparities out there in this technology adoption that can hinder this work of GST. So this is also one important challenge. And next one is input tax credit verification. So government authorities, they have recently identified and busted more than 29,000 bogus firms. So they are evading this tax dues. Okay, so in this way we are having some important challenges in implementation of this GST. So this is about this topic, and these are some important things that you have to remember for sure. So now let us move on to our paper. So this is the only one important article which is relevant from our examination from front page. Okay, so in the city page I found nothing much important, and here in this page also. So even the today's states pages also I didn't found anything which is important. So most of the articles are political articles, so just move on. Yes, here you can see one article. So in yesterday's class itself we discussed about the leopards population, which is decreasing in the Sivalix region, especially in this Himalayan region, but it is increasing in this northeastern as well as southern region, right? So now here this article says that unrestrained poaching plays a big role in decline of Odisha's leopards. So in yesterday's class we discussed about some facts regarding the leopards, so we are not going to discuss that. So this article is saying about, so there is one important reason for the decreasing of this leopard population. So that reason here is poaching. So especially leopard hides. Okay, so they are seized by the special task force of Odisha. They are poaching for this hides, that is the leather or the skin of these leopards. So Odisha had witnessed a sharp decline in the leopard population, approximately 1/4. Okay, so this data it is from 2018 to 2022. So about a quarter of population of these leopards had decreased because of poaching of this leopard. And if you see here, recently the status of leopards India report released, and it said about a dismal picture of big cat population in India. So especially the leopard population in the state of Odisha is around 568 and has been declined. Okay, there was estimate of around 760, but now this recent report said that it is around 568. So there is significant decrease of this leopard population is seen. So one important reason here is poaching. And here you have to see like which are the protected areas of this leopards in this Odisha. So we have Simlipal, we have Satoskar Tiger Reserves, Hirakud and Kotagar Wildlife Sanctuaries. So those are the important areas where we can see this population of leopards. Okay, so this is very important. So even according to this report, it says that the biggest threats to this leopard is poaching of prey for meat and even targeted poaching for tiger, leopard skins and body parts, and even habitat loss because of mining and other human activities, and sometimes road accidents are also the important reason. So this paragraph is very important. So whenever you are writing about what are the reasons for the threats, you can write some common reasons. Okay, so I will write here, you can make a note. Okay, so what are the causes for decreasing of number of any other animal, or like we can say like habitat loss. And next one is poaching. And next one is human-animal conflict. And next one you can write about decreasing of prey. Okay, and habitat loss, poaching, human-animal conflict, prey and accidents. Okay, so these are some common reasons for the decreasing of animal population in that so and so area. And here you have to see some facts regarding these leopards. Already we discussed in our yesterday's class. So these are very important things that you have to remember from this article point of view. And even there is one more article which talks about conservation of these big cats, and we are going to see that as well. Yes, we came to this editorial page. So here there is one important article. It is about 10,000 genome sequencing project. Okay, so here you have to know some important dimensions. So what is this India Genome Sequencing Project? This topic is talking about 10,000 genome sequencing project. You have to see what is this, and you have to know what is the meaning of genome, and you have to know what is the meaning of genome sequencing, and you have to know the details of this India's project, and even you have to know like applications of this project, and even you have to know like what is the significance of this project. And its application part and its genome and genome sequencing. So these three are very important from your prelims. Okay, so these three are very important from your prelims, and other areas you can get or you can expect mains based question. Okay, so this topic is important from both your prelims and mains, and we can connect this topic from different subjects like, so GS paper 3 under science and technology, and we can connect this topic with the GS paper 2 health. Okay, so in this way, this is very important. And now let us see the notes of this topic first. So here, recently what happened? Why it is in news? Yeah, the ambitious Genome India initiatives achieved a significant milestone because researchers they completed sequencing of 10,000 healthy genomes. So finally, our scientists they came up with sequencing of 10,000 healthy genomes from different regions of India. It is not from a particular regions. So from the different regions of our country, so our scientists they came up with this initiative of completing of like 10,000 human genome sequencing. And if you see what is this human genome, so here we have cells. Cell it is a functional. So what is the cell? Cell it is a functional and structural. Cell it is a functional and structural unit of an organism. Yes, it can take any organism like single cellular organism or multicellular organism, and you can see the complex organ system like humans. So cell is a basic thing. So in cell we have nucleus. Okay. So in this nucleus we will be having nuclear material. For example, I can say like DNA and RNA. So DNA and RNA is a nuclear material, right? So human genome is nothing but the entire set of DNA which is present in this nucleus of each and every cell of a human body. That is called as human genome. So I am talking about humans here. So whatever the DNA which is present in the nucleus of every cell of human body, that will constitutes under our DNA or human genome. So human genome is nothing but DNA which is present, okay, in each and every cell of a human body. And this DNA, it will be carrying the complete genetic information. So this genetic information is very important to understand development as well as functioning of organism. So normally this genetic material is inherited. Like for example, as I said, I have kids, right? I have two kids. They are twins. One is male and one is female. So actually my baby girl, she is looking like me exactly. But my baby boy is not looking like me. He is like his father. So that means I can say like, so whatever the genetic material that is present, so that will be acquiring from our parents. That is inheritable, right? So this genetic material is responsible for development and as well as functioning of the organism. And DNA which is consist of like double stranded. So it is like a double stranded. And we will be having different base pairs like adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. Okay. So every base on one strand pairs a complementary base to each other. That means opposite to A we have T and opposite to C we have G. So in this way we have complementary bases. So if you understand this sequence, we can understand the structure of our DNA. And in all, the genome is made up of approximately 3.05 billion such a base pair. So we will be having around 3.05 billion. You can't imagine the number. Okay. And if you're talking about this genome sequencing, the sequence or order of the base pairs is identical in all humans. Okay, sequence or order of the base pairs is identical in all the humans, and these are differences in the genome of every human being that makes them unique. So because of this genome sequencing, so it is making humans unique from others. Okay, so even though my twins, they grown together and they shared my womb and they shared my blood, but they are having the different characteristics. Even the color, even the they are non-identical twins, and one is boy and one is girl, and even the blood groups are different of my twins. Okay, so it is based on this genome sequencing. And the process of deciphering the order of base pairs to decode the genetic fingerprint of a human is called as genome sequencing. So genome sequencing is nothing but we are taking out the DNA. Okay, so we are taking out the DNA and we are studying the order of base pairs like adenosine, thymine, cytosine and guanine. Okay, to decode this genetic fingerprint of a human, it is called as genome sequencing. And in other words, genome sequencing, it is a process of determining the complete DNA sequence. So we are determining the complete DNA sequence of an organism's genome. And there are several methods of genome sequencing, but the most common is called as next genome sequence, next generation sequencing. Okay, so you can get a prelims based question from this area. So recently, next generation sequencing is in news. So what it is related to? It is related to Genome India project. Clear? Yeah, and next, if you are talking about applications, yes, these applications will be important from your prelims, and even you can get directly 10 marker question from this applications of this genome sequencing. So this application part is very important. And recently we discussed about rare diseases. Have you remember? Can you recall it? So what is this rare diseases? Can you tell me some examples of rare diseases? So please do comment in the comment box. Okay. So rare diseases, it is very difficult because they are not getting proper medicines, and even pharmaceutical companies, they are not showing much interest to manufacture the drugs, and even they are very costly and they need to suppress our immune system normally because they are genetically diseases normally. Okay. So here we need lifelong treatment in some cases, and it is very costly. Right. So here to evaluate these rare disorders, normally they are of genetical disorders. We can understand this rare disease if you are going for this genome sequencing. Okay, genome sequencing has been used to evaluate these rare disorders, and even we can understand the preconditions for the disorders and even cancer from viewpoint of genetics and also the disease of certain organs. So do you know this development? Okay, many of you might not be knowing because many of you are unmarried. So if you are married, then you will be knowing about this, like this NPT test. Okay, NPT test, that is prenatal genetic evaluation test. So this test will be advised by your gynecologist after you became pregnant. Okay, so in the 3 months. So in the first 3 months, in the first trimester, by the end of this first trimester. So nowadays, because of this lifestyle changes, because of increasing of this rare disorders, and because of increasing of awareness of genetic disorders, so nowadays every gynecologist is referring to go for this NPT test. So in this NPT test, what they will do here is, it is to identify any genetic disorder or any rare disease. So in this test, so here they will be withdrawing the blood from mother, and they will be going for separation of baby DNA. Okay, separation of baby DNA in the blood of mother from the 3rd month itself. So you may have the question like, baby is very small in 3rd month, so how can we analyze the DNA of baby, like that? So actually what happens, so there will be the link between the baby and mother through umbilical cord and placenta. So what are the waste which is generated by this baby, that will be eliminated through the mother's blood only. So mother blood will be taking the waste of even the baby, and that will be filtered by the kidneys of mother. So because of that, at the time of pregnancy, woman's body will be having lots and lots of changes, and even woman body will be doing like double, triple work. So even there will be heavy load on kidneys. Okay, so what happens? So whenever we are withdrawing the blood from the mother, so it will be having small broken fragments of the baby that will be available in the blood of mother, and in this test, this baby's DNA will be isolated, and they will be studying about this 23 pairs of chromosomes. Okay, 23 pairs of chromosomes. Even through this test, we can identify the sex of the fetus. But in India, that will be not revealed. Okay, they will be not giving the data of this 23rd chromosome, but they will be giving the data of till 22 chromosomes. So if you see this 23 chromosomes, yes, we can understand whether it is a boy or a girl, but you are not getting this. So we will be getting the data till this 22 chromosomes, and they will be studying like structure and everything. So based on that, we can understand whether our baby is having any genetical disorder or not, or any other disease like Down syndrome, Patau syndrome, okay, like that. So this is the one important thing. So we can know about this rare disorders if you are going for this genome sequencing. Okay, so this is the one advancement that we can see, but this is very costly. It will be ranging from 18,000 to 25,000. So based on that, so and so lab. And next one here is nearly there are about 10,000 diseases like cystic fibrosis, thalassemia. They are known to be the result of single gene malfunctioning. So we can identify those diseases. And next one is it is also a tool for prenatal screening. So that is the thing we said now, that is about fetus, whether it is having any genetic disorders or anomalies. So we can understand by this NPT test. And next one is even the public health also, this sequencing is very helpful to read the different codes of viruses. For example, yeah, so recently everyone had experienced this COVID-19, right? So later on what happened, we came with a different strains, different sequences, different types that we came to understand only through this genome sequencing. And next one is used at the population level. So we are using this advanced analytics and artificial intelligence that could be applied to essential database, and we can collect this genomic profiles across the population. And we can also understand what is the causative factors for the potential treatment, and we can also understand how can we go for diagnosis. So everything that we can understand with this genome sequencing. And now let us see some facts regarding what is this project which is about. So Genome India project is a gene mapping project. So it is sanctioned by Department of Biotechnology. So this department is very important. Okay, so which department? That is Department of Biotechnology. And it was launched with the goal of creating comprehensive database of genetic variations among Indian population. And for sure 100% I can say that you can get a question regarding this 10,000 genome project for sure in your prelims. So you have to prepare this topic sure. And the project which aims to sequence genomes of over 10,000 Indians from different regions of the country, and we need to have a reference genome, okay, for Indian population. Okay, so in this way this topic is very important, and these are some important facts. And today is Saturday, so there is no opinion page, there is no text and context. You will be having less burden on this newspaper today. Okay, and one more request again I am saying, so please do rate and review this Rathods IAS Academy, and please show that you are supporting us. You are there always to support us. Okay, so please do that, don't forget. And next one here is about India's burgeoning death penalty crisis. So we are facing this crisis of death penalty. Like recently there are many controversies which are going on. Some people they are favor regarding this death penalty or capital punishment, and some people are against this, and now we are facing the crisis. So along with this crisis, again the new step happened here is Supreme Court did something. So again there is a debate on this death penalty is going on once again. So we are going to see this topic. So here you have to see some dimensions. So which are those dimensions? First one here is you have to know what is this death penalty. Okay, 1 minute. So you have to know about death penalty. So other name of this death penalty is capital punishment. Don't confuse with these two words. So next one is capital punishment. So death penalty is also called as capital punishment. Here you have to see like what is this death penalty, and you have to see like what are the arguments in favor or the arguments against. So what are the arguments in favor or what are the arguments against this capital punishment? And apart from that, you have to see some more important things like Supreme Court judgments which are related to this death penalty, and you have to see in which countries still this death penalty is there, like India. So you have to collect the information of other countries, and you have to see like which countries abolished. Okay, you have to see like which are the countries they abolished this death penalty. And apart from that, you have to develop your own perspective. So what you say, yes or no? So this your own perspective is also very important. So here I am saying something will run to your mind, right? So you have to develop your own perspective, and you have to know your own reasons for your own perspective. If you are saying yes, we need, so what are the reasons? If you are saying no means why, what are the reasons? So you have to develop your own perspectives. So this perspective part is important from your interview for sure, because they will be testing your personality. So it is not like you have to read everything, but you have to be sure about your personality. You have to show like this is my personality is to the interviewers. Okay, so you have to develop your own perspective here regarding this death penalty. And here I can say we can connect this topic with GS paper 2 under polity, because fundamental rights of people, they are violated here. And even we connect this topic with the GS paper 2 international relations, because we are moving beyond India, and we are checking like in which countries we have this death penalty and which countries they abolished this. And even from international relations, you can see like a recent example of Qatar. Okay, so Indian Navy, former Indian Navy persons, they got this capital punishment in Qatar, but finally it had been resolved and they came back to India. So you can also add this case study. And even from GS paper 4 under ethics also, this topic is at most important, that is death penalty, like whether it is morally and ethically correct or not. So you may have different perspective, I may have different perspective. So whenever you are developing perspective, so make sure that you will be also saying the proper evidence, okay, behind that. So now let us see this topic in detail. And if you are understanding like how to read newspaper, hit the like button, and please do review and rate Rathods IAS Academy. Don't forget this. I am constantly saying that. So please don't think me wrong, okay? But you have to show that I am there for you to support man, like that. So show your support in the form of ratings and reviews. It is very important at this present time. So around 561 prisoners on the death row at the end of 2023, India's death row population has continued to rise. So there is increasing of capital punishment is seen since 2004 onwards. In an unprecedented trend here, Supreme Court now acquitted nearly 55% of death row prisoners. Okay, in the cases which had been heard in 2023. That means here I can say like Supreme Court, it is moving towards reforming of this death penalty. Supreme Court wants to reform this death penalty. So because of this, again this is in news. So if we are talking about death penalty in India, the purpose of death penalty, it is to deter people. That means we have to stop people to do something. Okay, to stop the consequences. And this punishment applies to heinous and traumatizing offences to society. For example, there is any murder or rape and murder, okay, rape, etc. So in these cases, death penalty will be awarded in India. And according to in death penalty in India 2022 report, trial courts, they gave 165 death sentences in 2022. And it is the highest in the single year in the last 2 decades. In the last 2 decades, even now the lower courts are awarding this death penalty, and it is high in 2022. And now if any person who got this death penalty, so what are the legal remedies that are present? So you have to know this also, right? So the award of this death sentence by a trial court. So if the trial court or subordinate court is giving, means it should be reaffirmed by the high court to make it final. It is not the final decision which is taken by the subordinate court, but even that will be moved towards high court, and high court need to final it. And next one is Article 137 of Indian Constitution. So this Article 137 which provides the power to Supreme Court. So now it is a power which is given to Supreme Court under Article 137 to review the judgments. And next one is after the dismissal of review petition, so person can file a curative petition in case of violation of principles of natural justice, and curative petition that will be sent to 3 senior most judges and the bench of judges who pass that judgment. And this one is he can also file mercy petition. Okay, so mercy petition that can be filed. And even Article 172 and 161 of Indian Constitution, so which is giving the power of pardon for president and governor. Okay, so these were the legal remedies which are present. And apart from this, you have to know like what are the important judgments regarding this death penalty which is given by Supreme Court. So whenever you are writing any answer regarding poly, try to incorporate as many articles as possible, and even Supreme Court judgments is very important. Okay, and whenever you are writing even ethics answers also, you can use these articles and Supreme Court judgments. So here the first one is Ediga Anumma versus State of Andhra Pradesh in 1974 case. Supreme Court laid down the principle that life imprisonment for the offence of murder is the rule and capital sentence is exemption. So in some cases, yes, there is exemption of capital sentence. And here court also said that we need a specific reason, okay, to impose death sentence. But in 1980 case, that is Bachchan Singh versus State of Punjab, Supreme Court held that only in rarest of rarer cases, yes, death penalty can be imposed. So death penalty should not be imposed in all the cases. Only in the rarer of rarest cases, only when there was heinous crime happened. So in that cases only, here we have to provide this, what? Capital punishment. And next important topic, it is about International Alliance to Protect Big Cats. So big cats means, for example, we have tigers, we have leopard, we have cheetah, for example, we have panther. So these are the animals which comes under category of big cats. So you may have a doubt like why we have to protect this animals. Yes, you know about this food chain, right? So we have primary producers. For example, we have herbivores, grass plants, okay, trees, etc. And we have primary consumers. Okay, primary consumers are like sheep, goat, deer, etc. They will be consuming on this plants. They are herbivores. Okay, they are herbivores like ox, cattle, sheep. Yeah, next after this we have secondary consumers. So these are normally carnivores or depend on this primary consumers. And at the top we have top consumers like lion, tiger and big cats. So whenever you're talking about conservation programs, so we are focusing on this. We are focusing on this top carnivores. Okay, top animals. Why? Because they are less in number. Normally they are very less in number. So if they are going for this extinction, so if there is extinction of this top carnivores, so if there is no carnivores here, top carnivores, then this number and this number will be increasing. So whenever this primary consumers number is increasing, it will be affecting this producers. So there will be no greenery. So if there is no greenery, there is no oxygen. Okay, so even there will be increasing of further temperature, global warming, deforestation, yeah, so what not. So because of this, always we have to maintain ecological balance. So always we have to maintain this ecological balance for sustainable environment. So because of this, we are focusing on conservation of this top carnivores. So I hope you understand the importance, right? So now let us see this topic in detail. So this topic, as I said, it is important from your environment and ecology point of view. So if you see details, it says that Union Environment Ministry is planning to set up International Big Cat Alliance. So here Union Environment Ministry want to set up this International Big Cat Alliance along the lines of International Solar Alliance. So along the lines of International Solar Alliance, so they want to come up with this International Big Cat Alliance, and they want to promote solar installations globally as well. So if you see some important details, it says that India's global leadership in tiger conservation has been recognized, and if you see here, so IBCA will be headquartered in India, to which India has already committed rupees 150 crore for 5 years. And especially we are focusing on this conserving of this big cats. So as of now, there is no international platform which is addressing this conservation challenges of this big cat. So because of this, India wants to come up with that. And as of now, around 16 countries, they came up with the written consent to become the part of this. But there are about still 96 countries. So they are harboring these big cats. So they have to open up their decision. And what is significance? Why we have to go for conservation of these big cats? So because of there is no proper species specific intergovernmental platform. So we need to come up with that. And even we need to maintain the networks and transnational initiatives, especially for conservation protection. For example, if you see India itself, so India is sharing boundary with Nepal, Bhutan, here we have Bangladesh, here we have Myanmar. So normally in this Nepal and India we have some tiger reserves, even this Bhutan also we have some important national parks, etc. So what happened, animals will be moving within these two countries, that is you are crossing the boundary of India and entering into another country. So in that condition, so we need to take transnational initiatives, that means those countries, they have to come together to take proper efforts, right? So we need to also have the frontline staff in member countries so that we can also focus on the local support for the big cat conservation, and even that will be helpful for research and development of this wildlife monitoring. And even which are the communities who are living near this forest, they will be also get training, so that they will be helpful for ecotourism, and also they will be getting some livelihood opportunities. So these are the some important significance of this alliance. And next important topic, as I said, it is about corporate tax, and this is the last topic of discussion. And now let us see this topic. So if you see context, it says that recently, yes, our finance minister, she is giving answers to the questions of students from JNU. And they asked about this corporate tax, and our finance minister, she gave the answer. So answer is like this, answer goes like this, that is government's decision to decrease corporate tax rate in late 2019, it was well considered move, because we are attracting more investment, and that is helpful to make a lot of difference, and even that helpful to create a major transition in underway in industry labor relations. That means whenever there is low corporate tax which is imposed by the government. So first of all, you have to know what is the meaning of this corporate tax. So corporate tax is an example of direct tax system. So we have the example of this direct tax system, that is corporate tax. Okay, we have an industry or any factory. So we have a factory or industry. So it is getting profits. So on these profits, it has to pay some amount as a tax to government, that is called as corporate tax. For example, I am an individual, so take me as example. So I am getting profits, I am working and I am getting profits. So on this profit I have to pay tax to the government. That tax is called as income tax. But in organizations, factories, industries which are paying the tax, that comes under corporate tax. Clear? So if you see the details, it says that India had a very high level of taxation for companies. Okay, earlier India used to have a good rate of tax that have to pay. But now what happened? 2019 government came up with decreasing of this corporate tax slab. Okay, so because of this, what happened? There is increased investment, and whenever there is increased investment, that will create jobs and that will be having a good impact on our economy. So this is a thing which mainly said. And now let us see some facts regarding this corporate tax. So corporate tax is payable by both public and private companies which are registered in our country under this Companies Act of 1956. So under this 1956 Companies Act, so whatever the company that had been registered, either it may be public or private, so they have to pay the tax. And corporate tax is a direct tax placed on the company's net income or the profit. And the tax is imposed on the net profits of corporation. So that profit is calculated by subtracting expenses. For example, like cost of goods sold and the operating expenses and depreciation. So based on that profits, they will be paying certain amount, certain percentage, like 22% or 30% to the government. So please let me know what is the current corporate tax slab in India. So it is your work, so that you can understand exactly what does this corporate tax means. So what is significance? So this corporate tax is one of the important tax. So whatever the direct taxes are there, so among all these direct taxes, government will be collecting more corporate tax. Okay, so it is an important source of revenue for the government, and even it helps to fund public goods and services such as schools, hospitals, roads and defense. And corporate tax is also very important because it is redistributing the wealth. And even government is addressing this issue of inequality in the society. And one more important thing here is corporate tax also have other economic and social impacts. It is increasing the competitiveness of business. Okay, so it is very important. And if there is high in corporate tax, means there will be less investment. So government need to ensure that there should be less corporate tax, so that there will be increased investment. That will lead to more investment and more job creations and increasing of standard of living of people, and that will lead to the improving of economy as a whole. And next one is corporate tax can also influence the location and the type of businesses. Okay, so it is also very important. And these are some important things that you have to remember from this article point of view. And now I will give you one mains question. So actually in 2022 or 21, so this topic is highly seen in news, that is global minimum tax. Okay, so here the question is, what is this global minimum tax rate? So what are the foreseeable challenges to implement this in India, and how can these challenges can be overcome? Okay, so already I discussed this topic, and there is a separate video that I made on this global global alternate minimum tax. So please do watch that video. That is, if you type that, you can see my video. So that video I recorded in 2022, I think so. Okay, so go to that video and try to write answer for this question. I discussed very detailedly entire thing regarding this corporate tax. Yeah, now let us see our newspaper and let us see if there are any article important. So in the news page, I found nothing much important. So what are the topics that are important, I tried to cover. Yeah, here you can see, yeah, this is very important topic, I forgot. Here you can see India to see warmer summer as El Nino conditions continue. So here in your Indian monsoon topic, okay, so in our Indian geography, we will be studying this topic like climate, right? So in this climate, we will be seeing this subtopic called as monsoon. So in this monsoon, it's very important because we are getting rainfall in this monsoon season. And as you all know that India's economy is based on agriculture, we are saying that agriculture-led economy in India, correct? So here this monsoon will be affected by this El Nino and La Nina. So La Nina means normal, so we will be having normal rainfall. It is not affecting monsoon, but El Nino condition is very bad, so we will be receiving less rainfall. Okay, so I will be discussing this topic in detail, don't worry. Okay, so if there is any opportunity, I will be discussing this topic, and mostly we will be seeing this El Nino, La Nina commonly in newspaper, don't worry about that. So but you have to see what are the differences between this El Nino and La Nina. So this will be important from both your prelims and from your mains. So both from prelims and mains, so this topic is important. Clear? And if you move on in this world page, everything is common. Even this business page also I found nothing much important. So these are the very important topics that appeared in our today's newspaper. So you have to see only these topics. And where can you get the notes of this class? So this is our Telegram channel, Rathods IAS classes. So the link is given in description box. So please do join this channel so that you will be getting the notes. And this is our YouTube channel, Rathods IAS Academy. So don't forget to subscribe. And this is our Rathods IAS Academy website. And we are providing foundational course for 2025 and 2026 with a very low price. So that too online. And if you want offline, so offline batch will be going to be started from June. Okay. So if you want, you can do the register for the admissions. Admissions are going on. And in this online, so you will be getting the benefit like, so the cost is very low. And you will be having the combination of live classes plus recorded classes along with answer writing, mentorship, everything will be there, and it will be around 20 to 25,000 rupees if you want even mentorship and mains answer writing. Okay, so this is about this course. And if you want to meet me directly, you can come to the office from 9 o'clock to evening 6:30 p.m. so that I will be available in the office. I will be providing you the mentorship. And even we are going to provide this free study space. And if you're from Hyderabad, yes, you can come and you can utilize this free study space also. And you can get the free mentorship. And we are going to conduct prelims mentorship from Monday onwards. Okay. So we are going to conduct a small test of 50 questions, and after that test, so we will be evaluating your performance, and we will let you know which are your weak areas and which are your strong areas, and in which subject you can go with a guesswork. Okay, so that is about the initiatives. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you like this class, hit the like button, and don't forget to rate and review Rathods IAS. The link is given in the description box. So thank you so much for watching.